Welcome to the Empty Nester Life podcast. I'm Mark.
And I'm Jackie.
And today we're going to talk about marriage after the kids move out. But first, let's kind of give you a little overview of the Empty Nester Life content.
Yeah, so we have started the Empty Nester Life podcast. Welcome to episode number 4. And this is where we're talking all things empty nester life. This is about getting real and getting deep behind the scenes and with the day-to-day issues that empty nesters face.
And we started a podcast because we felt like we could get into more detail with a podcast versus, it seems like in our Empty Nester YouTube, it's more about travel and restaurants and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we just wanted to be able to get real and build a community. So if you are new here, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all the things. That's all well and good. But more than anything, leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts on today's topic or ask us questions or give us ideas for what you'd like to see in future topics.
Fantastic introduction.
Thank you. Now, before we get started, I do want to make a point that today is April 27th. So technically should be spring. And we are sitting in Flagstaff, Arizona, and we're literally watching it snow outside.
Well, I told Jackie, I said it felt like, the same kind of feeling you get when a winter storm is blowing in. And I was kind of laughing about it because it's going to be 60 here tomorrow, but it's only 49 here today. But literally right now we're looking outside and there's flakes. I mean, it's in the 40s, but I guess from up above and it comes down. Yeah, we get a little bit of snow flurry out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to stick or anything like that, but it is entertaining that's what we're watching happen right now. So, all right, well, we are going to jump into today's topic about marriage after the kids because let's face it, when you are raising your kids, so much of your life revolves around them.
Oh, it's the discussion. What happened today? What are they doing? When are they coming home?
Well, and all the activities.
When are they getting up?
Oh, well, that's a whole battle that
Are they getting up?
Are they getting up? I mean, let's face it, on the weekends, if they didn't have anything, chances are they slept till noon, 1, 2, who knows?
Well, it's a typical thing for the late teens, early 20s.
Sure.
It's what they do.
But, I mean, and it's crazy because when your kids are really little, they need a lot of your attention. And I think that in those little phases, you're almost under the impression that as they grow older, they're going to need you a little less.
Yeah.
Not true. Or at least not our experience.
Well, I never really got a hold of the girls until, they were 13 and 11.
That's true.
And so I don't remember the really early, times of Maddie and Sophia. But I do remember the, few years before we got married. When we got married, they were 11 and 13. And I remember Sophia crawling underneath the table when she was like 5. And holy moly, she was out of control. I actually told Jackie that. I go, she is out of control. And so really, it was consuming. It was super consuming. And that's what I would say, especially when the younger, I felt like it was more consuming personally. But, you have a little different idea about that. Maybe not. I mean, she's mom. The other thing I would say, too, she's mom. And moms with girls, there's a relationship there that, a dad, a stepdad in my case, just can't totally penetrate. And even if I wasn't a stepdad, I don't think I could penetrate it. And that's okay because it's girl thing.
Yeah, that's true. And I would say, and I'd love to hear from you because obviously we only have girls. So I would love to hear from you. Is that kind of the opposite experience where boy dads are more involved in the boy life, baseball, coaching, soccer, coaching, little league? I don't know because that wasn't our story.
Yeah. Well, they were involved with things, but they didn't play soccer. They didn't do that kind of stuff. Team sports like that.
No, we had when we moved here when they were in high school. Our oldest daughter was a cheerleader for her high school, and then our youngest daughter was on color guard with the band for her all 4 years of school. And so there was a lot involved with that. So we had competitions and
the games themselves.
Which we loved. I mean, we enjoyed the heck out of it. We see people we knew. But I mean, too, it wasn't just at least with color guard, it tended to be just football season, and then they would have their competition season. With cheerleading, it was football season, basketball season, and then girls volleyball they went and cheered
Oh,
at
yeah,
girls
they
volleyball
cheered for
too.
that
So I
too.
mean, it was a commitment.
Well, on the side, one of the cool things about that is that they got to either do color guard or cheer in the walk-up dome. Here at NAU, the NAU football team, they actually have a dome stadium. So it was pretty neat. It's a small, intimate dome stadium.
So, I mean, that's kind of our experience. We'd love to hear yours. One of the interesting things, we did a video a while back about going into your empty nester life, and one of our subscribers left a comment that just sticks with me, where she said that she worshiped at the altar of parenthood for over 20 years. So when her child moved out and became an adult, she found herself really lost. And I think that's pretty relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was her life. And it was all encompassing. It's kind of like, when you worship God, which we do, we worship God. We should be more encompassing, I should say. But I think with kids, you can really, really get wrapped up in your life, and you kind of let everything else go.
Yeah.
And now, when you become empty nesters, you have to kind of retrace your steps and say, well, what's my thing?
And what's our thing? So, I mean, obviously we come to this from a perspective of a married couple becoming empty nesters, but we know that a lot of you are single parents becoming empty nesters. So you're going to have a whole journey on your own as well.
Much tougher journey.
Today we're going to be kind of talking about relearning each other and how to navigate your marriage and your relationship. But let's face it, if you're a single parent, don't tune out. I would actually encourage you to take this advice and the things we talk about and relate it to a relationship with yourself and how you relearn yourself. When we talk about rediscovering each other, think about rediscovering who you are. Things like that. Don't you think that would be kind of helpful?
Yeah, and since you started parenting 20 years ago, things have changed.
Yeah.
If you're a single parent, maybe you're going to want to get back in dating. Maybe you want to get remarried. Maybe there was no time for a relationship. Maybe you're doing two jobs. I don't know what the situation is, but there's a lot of factors 20 years later. And frankly, when we say 20 years, it's not 20 years.
You're right. It's not 20 years.
It's not
It's
20
anywhere
years.
from 18 to 22 years typically. But sometimes kids stay around longer than that. I mean, we talked about in a previous episode how our 18-year-old, man, that girl was out. She just out the door right after she graduated. So she was 18 when she moved out for good. Sometimes as an empty nester, you get that little buffer period when they go to college. So they're gone, but they're not really gone because you still have their room set up for when they come home for holidays and, summer and things like that. So, no matter where you're at, I would say if you're already an empty nester, then you got to start this stuff now. If you're preparing for empty nester life, or if your kid is in college right now, then this is definitely stuff to get to work on now, because the first thing I will recommend is prepare for your empty nester life. So, I mean, again, if they've already flown the coop and you are coming to us right now, then this step obviously doesn't apply. But, I think that it's really important to start coming up with some dreams and some mutual goals that you can see yourself doing once the kids have moved out, because I think it gives you something to look forward to.
Well, it's kind of like when Jackie and I would do these little trips. We did this, during our YouTube channel. We did the Mexico series. And so we had all these various places in Mexico we were going to go, and we were going to shoot video. And we knew what that meant. It meant like different hotels we never stayed in. We knew restaurants we'd never been to, beaches, in some cases we'd never been to, places we've never been to. And I think that's maybe what you do is you put something out there, something you're going to learn guitar. I don't know.
Right.
You're going to pick back up that hula hoop. You got to get that hula hoop back. Got to get that bad boy back, rotating, whatever it might be. And I think sometimes, you never leave totally who you are, I think, behind. I know I look at my hobbies now, and I look back to when I was younger. I'm doing the same stuff. I'm literally pretty boring. Same stuff, motorcycles, cars, biking, hiking, that kind of stuff, guitar, singing, bass guitar, played in a band when I was in high school. So I went back to all that stuff. I mean, I did.
And that's that's actually a really good point too, is that you do have to have some outside interests other than the kids.
Or start developing them now, or planning for them now.
Right. Or if you're already an empty nester, time is now. Like,
'Cause-
what do you want to do? You know, that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, you kind of get to ask yourself that all over again. Maybe not for your career, but for what you want to do with your free time.
Yeah, because once they walk out, if you haven't planned for anything, you're kind of like, whoa.
Deer in the headlight.
Oh, here I am. The house is empty. What? And maybe it causes a little bit of anxiety and some panic.
Right.
It's just me. It's just us.
Right. It's kind of interesting. Have you ever seen the movie something about launching the kid?
Failure to launch.
That's the one. Have you seen that?
I have seen it. I couldn't tell you because I'm not great at regurgitating old movies.
That's true. You're not. But I've seen this movie. Like, I love this movie. I think it's pretty funny. And I think that if you have seen it, you'll relate to this. If not, go watch it. But the parents in this movie were played by...
I know the movie. Terry Bradshaw
and Kathy Bates
right.
played the parents. And their whole dilemma was that they had this adult kid who literally would not get out of the house. And so... I won't go into the whole movie, but once he finally moves out, they start learning each other. And Kathy Bates' character says something to the effect of, I'm afraid. What if he doesn't want me anymore? What if he doesn't like me anymore? And I think that's a really common fear, especially for women. I don't know about men, but for women, I think that can be a common fear, that you've been so wrapped up with your kids that maybe you're concerned that I don't know if this person's going to want to spend time with me.
Here's the attitude I want you to have. What's not to like? Hey, what's not to like? What?
No, that's good. I love it. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Have some confidence, I think, in who you are, and that you'll make your way, because you will make your way. But there's going to be some effort. There's going to be some struggles. There's going to be some setbacks. But there's going to be some forward yardage too. There is a goal line. And the goal line is finding that place that doesn't include your kids.
Yep.
Lockstep.
So it can be a little bit scary because you might feel like strangers when they first move out.
We didn't.
No, we didn't. But I think so. And I do want to hit that because I think what we did right, and not that we have life all figured out.
We started dreaming.
We started dreaming when Sophia was maybe a sophomore, maybe a junior. We really started dreaming about what comes next. And for us, we did start dreaming about travel, vacations. We were talking about getting a vacation home on the beach.
It was all about freedom.
Yeah, we really wanted to go and explore. So we are two people who love to explore. Him especially.
Yeah, I like new places.
He loves new places. Like, he doesn't even like to be in a town that doesn't have a lot of little offshoots where he can go explore something new or whatever.
Bored. I get too bored.
Yeah, you do.
Get too bored. Like, if I'm mountain biking, if I can find a new trail, or I'll be riding down the road, whatever, any road, like, wow, there's a single track right there. Look at the single track right there. It's right there. I've never been on that one. I'm not saying I run and then go ride it the next day, but
no.
Oh, look at that right there.
But you like to do exploration, and in all honesty, I do too. He's maybe a little more so than me, but I do think we have that in common. So we were dreaming about what we were going to go explore. So I would say, maybe travel's your thing, maybe it's not, but certainly sit down with each other and start to say, like, hey, what do we see ourselves doing once the kids move out?
Well, and they say that people don't like change. And so what I want you to do is I want you to embrace change. I think change is exciting. I really do. I like change. I like variances. I think embrace change. But because here's why. Because you're going to have to change. Things are going to change. So embrace it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a reality check.
Yeah, you do. You have a choice. You can hang on to the way things were, and you can fight the change. And frankly, that's going to lead to what's typically known as the empty nester syndrome, where you start to feel depression, anxiety, fear, all of that. Or
hopelessness.
Yeah, or you can embrace the change and say, okay, this is an exciting opportunity. And, your kids don't go away. I mean, they physically move out of your house, but it's not like they are disappeared from the planet. You still have relationship with your kids, and we're not going to get into that now. In fact, that's going to be our next episode. But just know that I think a lot of the depression and fear comes in with that, oh, the kids aren't going to need me anymore. They're not going to want to be in a relationship with me.
I mean, every morning we wake up, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
That's not even close to true.
Oh, okay. We're in the money.
Okay, stop.
We're in the money.
You're in the money. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Because you're subsidizing your kids' lives in other ways. But that's another topic for another day.
It is.
So the other thing is that you may find yourself in a situation where you have different ideas as to how you want to spend your free time. And so one of the things that I would say is that it's really important for you to communicate where you're going to spend your time together, but also give each other freedom to do things that don't include the other. Like Mark's talking about all of his mountain biking and his music stuff. That's not me. I don't do that stuff. So that's Mark's thing. And so I think that's really important.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways that you can kind of skin the cat, so to speak. Not that
Slice the cake. I like the saying "slice the cake" because who's out there skinning cats? Come on.
Well, again, I'm not advocating for cat skinning, but it's just a illustration.
An idiom.
There's a lot of ways to do it, but I think you're going to have to develop some of your own stuff, but certainly you're going to have stuff for a strong marriage, a strong relationship. Jackie and I are best friends, I would say, first. And I think that really helps. We've said before, we're both, babies of the family, and so we get each other. So we understand each other pretty good. Good and bad. There's a lot of good and bad in both of those attributes or just, realities. But yeah, maybe understand who you are. And the other thing is give the other person a break. I mean, they're going to have to figure out this whole scenario too, just like you are, and talk about it. Talk about this transition. Talk about the scenario of being empty nester, almost being empty nester. And what are we going to do now? It's that idea and reinvention and embracing change.
Yeah, I think it's really important to know that that the other person in the relationship is going to be going through their own transition and their own change at the same time. So it's a really dangerous territory to get into if you're expecting this person to fill that hole inside of you and vice versa.
Yeah, chill out on your expectations.
Yeah, I think that having high expectations of the other person is really one of the things that can tank the whole experience.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm not saying you have no expectations, like, well, go do your thing, I'm going to go do mine, and we'll just see what works out. But there's a level of healthy expectation of one another, but also understanding that he may not respond the way I think I want him to. And if that's the case, I can't get mad at him. I have to adjust my expectations.
Yeah, it's communication, really, what we're talking about. Just communicate what we're talking about. Communicate that. And say, okay, we got to get real here. Let's talk about this. I'm not going to try and project what I think you should be doing, and please don't project, what you think I should be doing. And I think if you start from that point and say, listen, this is going to be, to a certain extent, trial and error.
Right.
We transitioned really easy. Like I said, we did the hallelujah thing every morning and sometimes at night. And that's not true.
It's so not true. If you go back and watch our very first video, you're going to see both of us cry on camera because,
that's why we kept Maddie around for another year too, because we're like,
this is when Sophie moved out.
But yeah,
we were empty nesters.
That's true, but I mean, didn't want Maddie to leave, and Sophie felt the same way. I mean, they were both. It was a loss.
Yeah.
Okay. There was loss, and there was the hearts were hurting a little bit, and there was loss.
Yeah.
Because you love them.
Right. So, I mean, don't make it sound like we were all
it's a joke, people. Come on, let's have some fun.
Running around the house naked, all that fun stuff.
Well, that is nice.
One thing I do want to bring up is that obviously, like Mark said, we're best friends. We enjoy our time together. We want to be sensitive to the fact that maybe you're watching this and you're not in that scenario, because sometimes relationships are broken. And so it's very possible that you're heading into this empty nester life where we know and understand that pouring all that effort and energy into the kids was actually a way of deflecting and distracting from issues within the marriage. So now that they're gone, you may have to face those issues. We really highly want to recommend that don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't just walk away from the marriage if you have it in you at all. We really do recommend find some good counselor, good marriage counselor. If you're a member of a church, you can get counseling through your church. If not, you can get counseling through local marriage counselors, or you can do it online too.
Yeah, and the thing that glues us together on top of it all is, we believe that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and that is a glue that never breaks.
Yeah.
And so to be Christian and understand that ultimately there's someone higher than us and someone between us and someone residing in us, Christianity and our faith and being born again is the glue that holds this marriage together for sure.
I would agree with that, and so I would encourage you that if that resonates with you, then I would definitely say seek a faith-based counseling if that's the case. But if that doesn't resonate with you, we're not. Listen, we share with you who we are. We're certainly not preaching to you who you need to be. And if that doesn't resonate with you, we still do want to encourage you not to give up on the marriage and to try and get help and work through whatever those issues may be. So that's going to be.
But I would encourage you, if you didn't have any time before to go to church, find a nice church around you to go to and seek some fellowship, some home groups. And like Jackie says, they have counseling there. And that in itself, like literally we're doing this podcast and we're going to jump in the car and go to our home group with 20 people in it in about 20 minutes.
And that's actually one of the points. I'm going to go out of order here since we're there now.
Okay. Oops.
No, it's good.
I did it again.
No, it's good.
She kind of keeps us on track.
I try. He's like herding. Talk about cats. He's like herding cats.
I see a rabbit hole. Got to go down that bad boy.
You are. Ding. But I do want to say, one of the things that you can do to either prepare for your empty nest, or if you're in the empty nest right now and you're feeling like, man, I need a little bit of help, concentrate on finding friends with similar interests. And we definitely recommend find couple friends. You definitely want to have your own friends as well, individual friends, but find couple friends. One thing that does tend to happen, not with everyone, but a lot of times, depending on your kid's situation, if you've got kids in like competitive dance and you're traveling with them all the time, or competitive hockey and you're traveling with them all the time, you tend to really bond with the other hockey moms or dance moms, or, the parents that are always on those trips as well. And so the worry there is that once your kid is moved on and no longer involved with that activity, it could break the bond of that friendship. So you either have to figure out, is this a friendship that we are going to be intentional about keeping and maintaining? You're going to have to make actual plans, not just, hey, we're going to see you and we'll grab a drink while we're together over.
That's casual friendship.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you're either having intentional friendship with those people, if that's appropriate, or find other couple friends within your mutual interests that you can connect to, things that you can do all together.
I mean, friendship takes effort, and we are blessed to have some friends. And I say that because it is a blessing to have friends, because it's not a given.
Right.
And so you have to be super intentional about it, getting together with them, texting them, calling them, because people want to know that you care about them. And it's nice to know when people care about us and they want to get together with us. And then when we get together, it's exciting and fun and we enjoy each other and that sort of thing. But it's a building process. It's, nameless at this point, but we have friends here and they are very intentional about trying to get together with us. And we're intentional of getting together with them. That I'm just speaking of just like one couple that we know. And it's special. It's really, really special. And you don't need a lot of those people. But it's nice to be liked. It's nice. It's nice to have real friends. It does.
People like me. They really like me.
They really like me. Her Oscar speech. That's right.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. So, Mark, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, so,
in becoming an empty nester, what surprised you? Anything surprised you about becoming an empty nester?
I thought that when the girls were gone, I would be like, oh, this is great. We've had, 24/7 with them, and now, they can kind of go away for a while. But for me, that was not the case. I feel like now I actually have probably better relationships with them and closer relationships with both of them. And I think they like me better because I'm not parenting them all the time. I think they like me better. Not that they didn't like me.
They did.
They thought I was a cool dad.
We had a great, but disciplinarians, to your point, like you're not disciplining, you're not telling them to do the dishes.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hurt them anymore. I was kind
hurt
of
hurt them.
Yeah,
it sounds like you're saying hurt.
Yeah, I was kind of a little bit hurted them a little bit, and I think. And we weren't necessarily helicopter. Is that what they call helicopter parents?
Yeah, where you're hovering.
We weren't necessarily that way. We gave them freedom.
Yeah.
So they weren't like trapped in the house. You can't you go to school. You come home and that's it. Or homeschooling, and nothing wrong with homeschooling. Of course,
we're fans of homeschooling.
Fans of homeschooling.
We really are.
But some people homeschool them. They never let the kids out of the door, and I'm like, well, they're going to have a social problem. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's it for me.
What surprised
How about
you?
For you?
Well, I would say
what surprised you?
That is actually what surprised me as well. Not in a different way, but the bond I have with those girls. Like, here's the thing: they still need you. And that is what surprised me. They just need you in a totally different way.
And it's so cool when they call, too.
Yeah. And they call and they want your advice.
You're calling me?
Or they just want to say hi.
That feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good.
We didn't get alienated.
We didn't get alienated.
And that's the other thing that's probably a fear. Once they're gone, I mean, do they cut you off? And we never got cut off.
I think part of that, though, is because, like you said, we give them room to be themselves and to figure out who they are. We are not trying to create carbon copies of us. We're not trying to, live out our broken dreams through their lives by having them do something we always wished we would have. We really let them figure out their path, and we're just there to support them. We're there to, guide them and tell them, are you sure that's a good idea? But if they, like you said in a previous episode, if they're hell bent on it, we go, okay, and then we're just here for you when...
Gonna hurt.
Yeah.
That decision's going to hurt.
Our youngest started riding a motorcycle, and that really, I struggled with that big time. But you know what? Not only did she find something she's passionate about, she wears all the safety gear. She went and took lessons. And Mark, obviously, he is a motorhead over here, so he worked with her a little bit too, but she went and did lessons. And now she's actually found a career in it. She sells off-road vehicles and motorcycles and things like that.
And loves
she's
it.
passionate about it. So, if I had hovered and said absolutely not, it would have broken our relationship. She probably still would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's you could have went a different direction. You were smart. I didn't want her riding a motorcycle, and I'm the one who threw her on a scooter back in the day, so it's my bad. But
it's all your fault.
People are still going to do what people do.
People are going to do. So what was harder than you thought? Becoming an empty nester. What did you find harder than anticipated?
I don't have an answer for that.
No? I
really don't. What was harder? I don't know. I can't really answer that question.
I think what I find harder, this is something that I still struggle with to this day, is every time the phone rings, and we just said we're very grateful, they call us for advice, they call us for things, but still every time the phone rings, I'm afraid they need something, or they're hurt, or they're in trouble.
Oh.
So that I find harder because I don't have that day-to-day interaction with them anymore. I'm not quite keeping the temperature. And so I do every time the phone rings, there is a split second when when I answer the phone and I hear my daughter's voice on the other end. And if it sounds peaceful or happy or normal, I relax and I enjoy my conversation. But if I hear on the other end, that's it. I'm a wreck.
I have the same reaction when it says SWAT on my phone.
Oh, stop it.
What?
My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Hey.
All right. So what are some practical ways to reconnect? We've kind of talked about this a little bit. Being intentional, setting intentional time for one another, but also intentionally giving each other space to pursue your own hobbies or interests.
It can be really exciting. A reinvention can be really exciting. And maybe you don't have to reinvent the entire wheel, but just throw some spokes in that bad boy.
Yeah, maybe pump a little air in the tire.
A little more air.
There you go.
Or take a little air out.
I mean, whatever. Wherever you're at, we don't know.
Whatever floats your wheel.
We don't know. Another thing is learning new hobbies together. So I am going to talk about a new hobby that Mark is doing for me this year.
Oh, no.
So, because in our marriage, I have started riding bikes and I enjoyed it. I don't enjoy mountain biking. I do.
But she hasn't been riding that much lately.
Well, no, but there's a lot of other reasons for that. But I do enjoy street bikes.
She did ride for a while.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I
Very
did pick up that hobby with him.
Yeah.
And some scooters, yep. He's, like I said, he's a big motorhead. And so we started riding Vespas. He's actually the one who taught me how to ride a scooter. And we've had a lot of fun with that and did some events.
First time she ever rode one of my ATVs, she rolled it, but that's another story. But
that is a totally different story, and we will not go there.
But anyway, so what?
But this year, I looked at Mark and I said, it seems like throughout the course of our marriage, most of the hobbies that I have picked up that we didn't already share together, because there's definitely mutual interest. But I was like, I tried biking, I tried Vespas.
Arizona State football.
I did get into Arizona State football.
She's a big fan.
I'm a big fan now.
Blackberry smoke.
And that's another, see? Keep naming all these things.
She didn't know how good they were. And then she saw them and I thought she was like being like a total oh, you're just faking it. We were in Tempe, we saw them the first time. And I was like, oh, she's so sweet. Look at her. She's just acting so happy and everything. That's a sweet girl right there.
I actually enjoyed the heck out of it. So now we've seen him a couple more times and we listen to him in the car.
I still thought you were faking it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
So now this year, I am a crazy Cubs fan.
Crazy.
Born and raised in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. And if you're from Chicago, you know why that matters. Northwest suburb, know that means Cubs. And if you're from a different area, it means White Sox. And there's a big rivalry there, but we won't even get into that. But anyway, I am a crazy Cubs fan.
She does love the Cubs, man. She will watch the Cubs. She'll watch. If she doesn't see the game, she just subscribed to MLB.
I did.
On a streaming service. So she's into it. We have a plaque to the right of me that says World Champions.
Because when they won 2016, when they won the World Series.
I gotta learn the Cubs better.
I had to sit on
I know about Ernie Banks, though.
I had to sit on this couch all by myself and go crazy for him. And then I would go down to the valley and watch the games with my parents and things like that. Because the girls still lived at home. And they would literally see me watching the Cubs game and be like, okay, everybody get out of here. Mom's going to go nuts.
So this is a good thing. So find a sports team you can get behind. And start going to games. Find a band you can go watch live and get behind that.
So he's going to be a crazy Cubs fan with me.
I'm already a crazy Cubs fan.
See, look at that. He's owning it.
Crazy.
He watches the recaps. We actually have some friends.
I like baseball.
We have friends that are Dodgers fans, and so the Cubs and Dodgers have been playing each other, and so we're ribbing each other a little bit, and that's a lot of fun. But anyway, so it is a mutual interest, something that I was interested in that I don't think, you like baseball, but you honestly could have cared less about any of the teams necessarily. So anyway, this year you're kind of getting into it.
I've been a Diamondbacks fan, been in Arizona since they started. So I'm from Minnesota, Twins fan.
But this year?
Well, I'm Cubs fan.
It's all about the Cubs.
Cubs.
So another thing that you can do, obviously, you want to communicate, have open conversations about things that you want to do with the future. I think would be a really good idea. If this is something that you're maybe struggling with, a good idea would be for both of you to write like 10 things down that you would like to do, whether it's a hobby, a trip, something like that. And then see if there's any crossover on those lists. Maybe
That's a
my
good
10
idea.
things and your 10 things, maybe out of those things, there's 2 of them that are the same. And we can really focus in on those 2 things and start to plan and start to dream.
And get excited about it.
Yeah.
I think if you find some mutual common interest, and it's not just going to see the kids, something outside of that, I mean, that could be part of it. You can say, well, we're going to go see the kids because now they moved away. They're, you see them every 6 months or every 3 months, whatever. Maybe that is. And while you go see them, maybe you do some side trips and stuff like that. That will give you the juice.
Yeah.
It'll give you the juice to always have a little bit of a carrot out there. Because I know, like, when we schedule a vacation or something like that, it seems that we just get a little bit lighter because, day to day can be tough. And no matter what's going on, day to day can be a little bit of a drudgery. I mean, not every day is great. We're going through some stuff right now that's difficult family wise. But if you have a carrot out there, it helps you a little bit.
It does. It does. And so I would really encourage you with that. And maybe it's something that neither one of you have ever done, but you want to check out. We just started playing pickleball. Mm-hmm. Neither one of us were passionate about it. Neither one of us could have cared less. And then we were like,
maybe we should get some paddles. So we bought the cheapest paddles and balls available to mankind.
Went out, played, became completely hooked. We love it.
It's so fun. It is so fun.
You drink the Kool-Aid.
Try the pickleball. Anybody can play it too. That's the thing. Even if you can't move very good, you can still play pickleball.
That's true.
Especially doubles.
Yep. Another thing you can do is to be curious about each other again. A lot of times when you're going through life with the kids, you lose a lot of that curiosity. It was kind of interesting. We were on a trip recently and I found out about a job Mark had when he was 15 that I literally, I've known this man for 18, 19 years now, and I never knew he had this job. It was your job as an attendant at a gas station. And so it was actually really interesting to just find something out.
Not a big deal. But
no, not a big deal. What? But it was interesting to be like, wow, I have known you for almost 2 decades and I had no idea about that. So
it's a very important job.
Get curious about
Back in the day when you had full service stations, that's what you did. You actually went, remember that? Remember? Maybe you don't remember. But yeah, it used to be full service gas stations and we would pump the gas. We'd get up, pump the gas, clean their windshields. That's what you did. You can't find them now.
I mean,
it was
in
a cool
Mexico,
thing.
you don't have an option. They're full service in Mexico.
And that's how she found out because I did the windshield because she did it and then I redid it. And
yeah,
I said, well, I used to do this.
No, this isn't very good.
She goes, well, what are you talking about? I worked at a gas station. What?
So just being curious about each other, you can learn some things about one another. And then to start dating again. I think it is really important to start dating your spouse.
We're not going to start dating.
No, not dating other people. Dating each other.
Oh, good. I was worried there for a minute.
Mark is like, what are you talking about? This podcast just took a totally turn, but...
This is our last podcast.
No. Start dating each other again. There is something fun. We went out, Mark took me out for my 50th birthday, and we went to a restaurant that is pretty nice, and we hadn't been for a long time, and all these things. And it was fun to get a little dressed up and have my husband treat me to a nice evening out, and it was great.
And we were sweet to each other.
We were sweet to each other, and the importance. It's not like we don't go out to dinner and just like, okay, and that's more about like, I've had a busy day, he's had a busy day, we got to eat something, so let's go eat. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like, I had the opportunity to get dressed up, and he asked me some really intentional questions, talk about getting curious. So there's some things like that, or we'll go out to community theater or what.
Yeah, we like that.
You didn't know that was that date meant so much to me?
No, it does mean a lot to you.
Yeah.
And I have to continue to remember that.
Aww.
Being true.
Well, thank you, hon.
Yeah, just continue to remember that.
Well, now the podcast is all worthwhile. I'm going to get some good dates. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, that's, I think, really good. I think to wrap things up, every marriage is different. So we're sharing with you some of the things that we found work and some, advice that we've researched and things like that could work. But every marriage is different. And so I would say the important thing is you got to find what works for you. Find what works for you as a couple, for you as individuals, and for you as parents of adult children who no longer live under your roof. Another thing is if you feel like you're failing at it, you're not. You're just learning, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think there's failure. I really don't think there is failure. I think this life is a journey, and this journey includes you, and includes whoever you're taking along with you, whether it's your husband or your boyfriend or soon-to-be boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever it is. So just understand that it's a journey. We're not going to be here forever, so embrace it. And don't just waste your days. And certainly we waste some days. And certainly we're not all peaches and cream and to each other all the time either. It's not.
We were snippy with each other setting up this podcast.
Well, yeah, and I tell you the other thing, it's very important that we have food before we do stuff like this.
Yes, we have learned.
Because we both do hangry. It's not crazy hangry. It's just snippy. A little snippy. But we get to it really fast. We're hangry.
We're hangry.
Because this is nonsensical, stupid stuff.
Yeah. And I think it's
so dumb.
What's funny,
it's all dumb stuff.
What's funny is that, like, if one of us is hangry and the other one isn't, we usually can recognize it and be like, here, have a banana or something, and then we're fine. But the danger is when we're both hangry, that can get dun dun dun.
Couple of little badgers.
So, hey, you know what? I would just encourage you, no matter what, take small steps daily to find what your new reality is going to be. Find joy in the journey, and plug into that. And just know, I would say the only failure would be just failing to try it all. And
you have value.
Yes.
You matter.
Yes.
You wouldn't be here if God hadn't put you on this planet. So you have a distinct mission here. Find that mission. And it may be one of those things where, like I've always enjoyed working at homeless shelters, find your mission. Find maybe even something that you can do in the community, whatever it is. And you're going to meet people. That's the thing. You're going to get involved and meet people. And it's all about people. It's not about stuff. It's about people. I
agree. That's good advice. My mom says that every day you wake up, if you wake up, then God has a plan for you for that day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, embrace that and find what that looks like. And it can be something, life-changing, community-changing, or maybe it just is a smile. You can make a difference in people's lives by going out and smiling at a stranger. It doesn't have to be something grandiose. It can be little actions.
A smile ministry.
My point is, it doesn't have to be a ministry. It can just be an action, or it's a ripple effect. So,
brilliant.
All right. I would say with that, we can wrap this up. Leave us a comment below if you have any questions. And in the next episode, we will try and answer those questions.
What's our next episode?
So our next episode, today we talked about relationship with each other. Mm-hmm. Our next episode, we want to talk a little bit about relationship with your adult kids and how it does change, and ways that you can release the expectations of what you think it should look like and embrace what it ends up being, and how you can really help your kids become successful adults. Because in the end of the day, really, that's the goal as a parent, is you want your kid to be a successful adult and have a good enough relationship that someday they take care of you when you need it.
And self-reliant, yes.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Empty Nester podcast. We love you.
Yep.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Jackie. And couple just little housekeeping items. Number one is, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, all that good stuff. And if you're listening to this on any other platform, please leave us a 5-star review if you found value from this podcast. And last thing, we really want to encourage you. We're going to give you homework.
Okay.
I know. We're taskmasters too. No, we want to give you homework and just encourage you to have an intentional conversation with your spouse about your dreams and finding something that you can dream about together. And if you're watching this and you are a single person, then find a dream that you can embrace, something for you to work towards, strive towards, and embrace for your future. And certainly report in, leave us a comment, and we would love to hear about it.
Thank you very much.
Until next time.
We'll see you.
Oh, look at the baby.
She just wants attention.
Well, we have Zoe helping us kick off the podcast.
Yes.
Okay.